Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Tonight, we have is it the second to last episode of charity season of The Bachelorette? Can you believe that? Maybe you're sending your kids off to school today. Congratulations on getting through summer. And we've got Golden Bachelor. Gary Turner says Fantasy Suite will be quite different. He says the activities I'm going to be doing in the Fantasy Suite are going to be a little different than the young whippersnappers. So we'll listen to his interview, which clearly he's doing right at the set of The Bachelor. So we'll have that for you in this episode and so much more. Do me a solid. Follow me on Instagram for stand-up show updates. This Thursday, I'll be in Huntington Beach, and next Thursday in Seattle. Let's sell some tickets to those shows. Patreon.com/Dave Neal for behind-the-scenes bonus content. Today on the Patreon, I'm going to discuss Friday night's show. I had a Bravo-themed stand-up show, and I was joking around like maybe Tom Sandoval will come, the greatest villain of all time. And sure enough, not only did he come to the show, he actually sat at the table where my camera was recording my set. So maybe on the Patreon, we'll listen to that set and hear if he's, got anything he's talking about on the audio that picked it up. All right, maybe not. We'll have to see. But anyway, all that's going to be over on Patreon. And then Bachelor Rush Hour, the hit podcast, this afternoon. We'll have all of your content in one place. Don't forget, before tonight's episode, 1 hour before the episode at 7 p.m. East Coast, we'll have the pre-show live stream and after-show live stream. All right, so here's how it's going to work. We're going to get into this, but of course, we have to do a little bit of housekeeping. I have to promote our teachers' wish list. Our 3 teachers we're promoting today are Dawson from Montreal, and then we have someone from Victorville, California. I don't have their name. And then we have someone from Washington, D.C. And what they're trying to do here. Why don't I have their names? Either way, we've got the whole list. You can go through all of the different folks that we have, from Kentucky to Montreal, from Colorado to Pennsylvania. Amazon wish list if you want to donate something, a pack of colored pencils, a motivational poster, whatever you want. It goes right to those classrooms. And also today, I wanted to shout out one of our Patreon members who sadly is caught up in the tragedy in Maui. She said, our church is doing incredible things. It's horrific over there. People just giving up, walking around hopeless. If you want to share how people can help with confidence, it does not go into random pockets. I can vouch for this church. It is the actual church I attend. King's Church is housing 400 and rising people in their churches and church members' homes. We're sending money, water, diapers, food, and clothes by the pallet from Oahu. God bless. And thank you so much for sharing that link with us. There's a link in my comment section. You can click to donate to this specific church if you don't have a relief fund you're already donating to. All you go to is linktree.com/Dave Neal, and I made it the top link right here, Maui Fire Relief Fund. All of our friends, family, and fellow Americans that are affected by this real tragic event, our thoughts and prayers and positive energy is headed your way. I know it feels pretty helpless for some people because as an island state, it's so far away. It's like, what can we do to help? Well, right now, sharing monetary resources is a good way. Okay, let's get into today's content. The Golden Bachelor, Gary, teases how fantasy suites will be quite different than past seasons. Let's listen to the interview. It's an ET exclusive.
The Bachelor Mansion with the very first Golden Bachelor, Gary.
And my journey to love starts now.
All right, Gary, come down.
Has it sunk in yet?
Every day it sinks in a little more. And when I walked in the mansion just now, it sunk in a lot. I'm a neophyte to this. I mean, I haven't dated in 45 years.
I love he called himself a neophyte. We're going to have so many people getting their dictionaries out to see a show that actually has a lead with a vocabulary. All right? A lot of neophytes watch the show. What does that mean?
That's right, only we were with 72-year-old Gary before night 1 of his quest to find love again. The Indiana resident's high school sweetheart passed away in 2017. And now, their 2 daughters and 2 granddaughters are the reason he's putting himself out there again this fall on ABC.
They were the ones that motivated me to respond early on to the casting call.
What advice did they give you about kind of, say, kissing women?
They said absolutely none of that.
They said don't do it.
Yeah, well, I'm ignoring that part of the advice.
We're going to have to do some gambling here, some betting. I wonder how many kisses Gary will have night 1 on the show. Leave a comment. Do you think it'll be over or under 3? because if it's over 3, hey, good for him. If it's under, maybe he's tight-lipped on the sort of meeting new women. But maybe it'll be like 9 or 10. Maybe there's like, hey, we're short on time. Let's wrap this up and get to business.
But they said pick your moments. They've given good advice.
What about the fantasy suites, Gary? I gotta know, what's the deal with those?
I just think that a fantasy suite for someone of my age may look quite different. The activities could be quite different than for someone in their 20s and 30s.
All right, he plays pickleball. Maybe hide that pickle. Okay, come on, folks. Pickleball, Gary. I don't know if he understands what the fantasy suite is. He's like, yeah, the activities will be different. We're going to have a ball game. It's like, do you know what the fantasy suite is, Gary? Are we familiar with the show? Did they tell you exactly what you'll be doing?
All right. So those don't make you nervous at all? Like you're not anxious about them?
No, they really don't. Okay. They make my daughters a lot more nervous than me.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
And I'm your first golden bachelor.
What are 3 qualities you're looking for in a partner?
Ooh, I think I need to see a great sense of humor. I think I'm going to be looking for someone who's sensitive, who's warm and kind, someone who blends with me well so that we feel a partnership.
I know that you were previously married to your wife for 43 years, and you said that she would be excited for this next chapter. What advice do you think she would give you right now?
Well, being a bit of a hothead as she was, she would say, get the hell out there and get going with this. But I think in reality, she would be thrilled for this.
There it is, folks. Look, what else is there to say about the Golden Bachelor that we haven't seen here? This is literally the most exciting Bachelor experience I think we're going to have in years. A lot of alumni have actually said that this is the advice they've been giving the Bachelor producers: have somebody new. The old way of thinking was, because initially it was new people because it was a new show, so it was all this curiosity. And then they always said, well, we have to have Deborah be the lead because she got dumped by Brian, and then Deborah dumps Timmy, and then Timmy becomes, and it's just the the human centipede of no names goes down the list. And while it might keep their current audience fed, it doesn't necessarily pique this curiosity for new and growing audience. I don't know. What do you guys think? What else did he have to say? Did he say anything else here? I think that's all we have for Golden Bachelor. I mean, look, he's got, I hope they feature his daughters more than, don't save this for the hometowns, right? Let them be a part of the conversation as he dates and meets people, because is the show too big for Gary? No. He's got a big personality. He'll be perfectly fine. But as we've seen in the past, having someone that he can talk to, that knows him and gets him and trusts him, and maybe that'll be Jesse Palmer too, but I think what we saw with, I believe, was it Katie Thurston's season? That's when we had Caitlin Bristow and Tayshia as co-hosts. Can you remember that? 2 years ago. Wow, time flies. And as co-hosts, they were giddy and jubilant, and that was a good energy that they had. And I think in order to counteract some of the tones that might be a little serious, which you'll be hearing contestant stories about being a widower, so many different tragic events, not tragic, but life events, lived heartbreak and things like that. It'll be nice to offset that with some of the more youthful energy, which could be Gary's kids rooting him on. I'd love to know what you guys think. So, like I said, 1 hour before tonight's episode, we'll be live, and directly after tonight's episode. Keep supporting the channel. You guys have been fantastic. I appreciate y'all so much. Don't forget, it is pivotal to have you guys hit the like button. You might not think this is a big deal. It tells YouTube that we've got the algorithm on lockdown, that we're going to keep getting content. And as you guys know, the more YouTube promotes our content, the more content I can make. It helps motivate us to keep going. I think the next video, it might be different. I'm going to check breaking news. But I think, and by the way, I did want to share this, if you don't mind. This is I meant to talk about this earlier. I didn't want to make a unique video out of it because it's a tough subject. So there's going to be a trigger warning right now for miscarriage, I guess is what the trigger warning will be for. But real tough moment that we had over the weekend for Jade, a past contestant on the show, Jade. She posted this: I've been struggling what to write here as I've been navigating a miscarriage. It felt like all my dreams were coming true to welcome another baby into our lives, to love and to complete our family. While our hearts are completely broken and we have been dealing with the deep and complex grief of the loss, we've been blessed to be touched by his soul for his short amount of time. I am forever changed. I'm currently experiencing what is called a miscarriage. So while his heart has stopped and he has stopped growing, for some time now, my body hasn't released the pregnancy yet. I am hoping to do this naturally, and I'm trusting in timing and in my body under the care of my provider. I've been carrying him with so much pride and cherish every moment still left with part of him. But it has also been equally as challenging and devastating. So while I hold my belly here, our sweet baby's body is resting in my womb as his soul soars. We love you with every piece of our hearts, baby Bo. And now this is, it's tragic and it's super sad, and it's part of the reason people watch The Bachelors, because you get to see, in some cases, strangers' lived moments, some joy and some sorrow. And right here, it's just a tough scenario. I think it's good for the people that feel brave enough to talk about it online, because obviously miscarriages are way more common than some might not realize, because they aren't something people talk about, and everyone can decide not to, and this and that. But, with cases like this, it's super sad, but, brave of her to share her story. And also, it's important to note, and this is one of the reasons why it's very dangerous to have this like anti-abortion, pro-abortion talk out there, because there are places that will not surgically remove a body past a miscarriage, a fetus past a miscarriage, and that can lead to sepsis and can really harm the mother. And it's not a political issue anyway. It's an issue on health. Really, that's what it is. And so many people say, well, I'm against abortion. But in so many places, instances where a miscarriage, cannot be removed because it's still considered an abortion, which is absolutely insane. Hospitals that are owned and operated by Christian organizations that are super pro-life will say, no, we can't remove that. And it can lead to harmful things. And doctors don't want to operate because they don't want to get sued and this and that, which is why I think I do believe most people believe that we should live in a world where we trust our doctors to do good and to do the right thing for the mother and for the baby and everything involved. Anyway, that's my thoughts. It's a complicated topic, one of which I know very little about. So I'm just sending a lot of love to Jade and her family, and we'll be back with more content right after this.